So let's start at the top and look at our inputs. We have to get the sound from our sound sources on the stage, like your guitars or microphones or whatever, from the stage out to the mixing console. Well, we could run massively long cables to the mixer, but then we'd have a big mess of cables to deal with, and a far better solution would be a snake like this. That way we could connect a bunch of inputs out to our mixer in just a single sleek multi-core cable. Sometimes they are many to many like this, sometimes called fan to fan. Sometimes they might terminate in a handy little box like this. Sometimes they go right into a wall plate, depending on how your system was originally set up. However the physical aspects of these snakes are set up, their purpose is the same. Get your inputs to your mixer in a clean way, and sometimes the run all the way out to your mixer is a really long one, and a digital snake is a better solution. Basically, a digital snake converts your inputs into a digital signal right at the box, right on the stage, and then you can get away with a single thin little network cable that can go a really long way. And these single digital cables can carry hundreds of audio channels, certainly saves on copper. However you get your signal out, it will terminate to the main piece in your sound system, the grand central station of all the connections, and that's your mixer. The mixer is the place that you'll spend most of your time as the sound guy. It's the place where you mix all of those inputs together, add some effects and so on, and then send those mixed signals out to your main speakers and also back on to the stage through monitors to help the musicians hear themselves. As it has to mix all those inputs, a primary feature on the shopping list of any mixing console is the number of inputs that it has. If you run a little coffee shop with an open mic night, then with a few performers coming in and play, then you might get away with a little mixer like this one here. Just count up the sound sources, maybe give yourself a little extra room for expansion in the future, and that's how many channels that you'll need for your mixer. And here's the deal, you probably need more channels than you think. Let's count up the channels on a typical band. We have a drum set with separate mics on the kick, snare, hi-hat, 3 toms, and 2 overhead mics. That's 8 channels already. Then there's our lead vocal plus 3 other background vocalists, 2 guitars, 1 bass, and say a keyboard. That is 16 channels, and we have even more if we wanted to say do 2 channels in the keyboard if it was say a stereo keyboard. Maybe the mic on the snare drum with 2 mics, top and bottom, to get the buzz out of the snares. You can see that you can eat up your channels, man, very, very quickly, so plan for the future. If it costs a little more to get a 32 channel mixer than a 24 channel one, then I believe the investment is worth it because you know what's in the future. By the way, that also goes to the snake I mentioned before. If you're paying to have an installer make a long run all the way from the stage to the mixer position, maybe through walls or under the floor, then plan for the future and have a lot more channels than you need right now. Does that make sense?